I'm going to be playing FNAF Freddy's, but every time I die, the game gets scarier. So, of course, we have to start out with a FNAF Freddy's game that no one finds scary. FNAF World. I actually continued on with an old save I had. I got into a few fights with Crab Apple, but, of course, they're no problem. I got victory after victory after victory. I thought this challenge would be very easy. It was turning out very, very well. Colossal even appeared. But of course, I took him out. No problem. Now, FNAF World is an RPG, and I am not great with RPGs. Especially when it comes to enemies that are sudden changes in difficulty. So, when I tell you I struggled with this next enemy, I struggled. Finally, we get to the guy who killed me, Withered Freddy. Withered Freddy is, of course, someone you had to kill to get that character. He ended up destroying a lot of my animatronics, so I had to switch to the toys. After doing a bunch of attacks against him, he eventually just killed me. I couldn't compete. It kept going on and on until eventually game over. The next game, Five Nights at Fazbears 3. This game is pretty much FNAF 1, but cartoony. Because it wouldn't let me continue my game for some reason, I did a custom night, but put all the animatronics on 4, which is probably their night 1 difficulty, since they moved quite a lot, and it's only 2 nights as far as I know. This night is pretty easy actually. The flashlight mechanic is to order Foxy if he ever gets to your front window. Of course, the other animatronics go to your left and right doors. Now, there's a puppet, but instead of winding up a music box, you press a button to reset the music box. As you see, when the animatronics get to a door, you see their eyes, just like in Five Nights at Candy's, pretty much making the cameras useless, except for Foxy and the puppet. This mechanic I find pretty interesting. So yes, as you can see, I'm resetting the music, checking on Foxy, and you can see he's peeking out. This game is honestly so well made, and I'm super impressed by it. I feel like people should do stuff like this more. Remake FNAF at Freddy's, but in goofy art styles, silly art styles, or just their own art style. I really like seeing how people remake FNAF at Freddy's games. But, of course, this one isn't that scary because it is in a cartoonish style. Although, to be fair, the jump scare noise is very loud. Like, very loud. Which means it did get me. But anyway, as you can see here, I ended up dying to Bonnie. Bonnie himself. Because he just got the better of me. And on to the third game. Five Nights at Freddy's A Golden Memory is a Fazbears type game. And of course, you know I love my Fazbears games. Starting a new game, it makes you notice there's something different about this game. Completely different. It starts at 11 PM, and I don't know why. I was sitting in the office for a while, it decided to just flashbang you. Like, completely flashbang you like that. And I have no idea why it does that. It's probably to signify the start of the night. So, this game is pretty complicated. You've got cameras where you can check on Bonnie, Chica and Freddy. You can wind up a music box, which I have no idea who that's for, probably Springtrap, since I never failed to do it. There's a vent, door for the Bonnie, and there's a blink and shock button. Blink to get rid of Freddy, and shock to get rid of Fredbear. Overall, this game was very hard. The animatronics are all a very high difficulty because it's only one night, meaning they have to put all of the difficulty in one night. It progresses. 12 AM to 1 AM is pretty easy. 1 AM to 2 AM is pretty hard. And as soon as it hits 2 AM, that's when stuff starts getting real. As you can see, I just winded the music box and shut an event whenever I open the cameras. That is because Bonnie is completely unpredictable. He can go an event all the time. He's always in that event pretty much. As you can see, he is very active. I see he's gone for an event, but luckily the event door's already closed. Because there's no power system, the event door will open after a while. And that was the death of me. Bonnie killed me because the event door opened. What's your nightmares? This is the 4th game, and as you know, I've already played this game on my channel before. I decided to mess around a custom night maybe, but I decided no. What was my favourite night of this game? Night 5. Night 5 was a Fredbear boss fight, of course, and I decided to continue on with that. Of course, Fredbear being the animatronic, this should be easy. But knowing that how much I've got a skill issue, it was not. The Fredbear decided to be extremely active and just overall ruin this run. Next is Abandoned Fazbears Diner. This is a remake, of course. This game has 3 levels. Freddy, Bonnie and Chica. With Freddy, when he appears in your office, just turn the lights off. If he's got black eyes, that is. If not, then you use a stage call. This is a very unique mechanic and I absolutely love it. This game was very, very easy. But that's not the last of this game. Bonnie. Charge a generator and use the flashlight to keep him at bay. And once the generator reaches 100, the night ends. But using a flashlight to ward off Bonnie makes the generator go down faster. This is awesome. I will admit that it is very easy, just like the rest of this game, but it's terrifying, which is why I put this in the second to last game. Because, of course, this game is easy, but knowing me, of course I slipped up at some point, which we'll see later on in the video. Now, Bonnie is very cool in this game. He's got a very cool design. I want to say props to the developer for making the designs this good, because they terrify me. They sort of remind me of FNAF Plus, but skinny and a little bit less detail, which is incredible. FNAF Plus terrifies me, so of course this will terrify me. Now, on to Chica. Whenever she appears in your office, you have to look for her cupcake. If you don't find it in time, then she kills you. As you can see, I had a successful attempt right there. Another one right there. This was turning out easy. I thought this was going to be it. I was on the final night. Was this going to be the game that I end on? Well, unfortunately, I couldn't find the cupcake. I kept clicking on C4 because I thought it had to be that one. The joy of creation. I've never played this one before, and I was super excited to play it because I had seen so many good things about this game. The realism shocked me as soon as I saw that opening cutscene, and it was just incredible. The gameplay in the bedroom was, at most, terrifying. At least fun, because it was all this mixture of this game's so cool and oh my god, I'm going to die because I cannot keep track of everyone. It was the perfect amount of scary and fun, and I absolutely loved it. The introduction is incredible, the cutscene graphics and the whole mechanic of going in and out of the crib amazed me. This whole thing of Freddy getting right up close to you at the window really shocked me. Like, this game actually scared me. I was sweating and shaking while playing this game, but at the same time I was having fun, which is why this game is honestly one of my favourite FNAF games I've ever played up to this point. You know what I mean? I might play another game that's better, but as of right now, the Joy of Creation story mode stands at the very top. But yeah, this game was absolutely incredible, and as you can see, nothing really eventful happened for the first few minutes. Freddy was pretty much completely inactive. Bonnie knocked on my door a few times, but never actually came in, and Chica came in once later on, but that didn't really affect me. Now, the whole thing about Joy of Creation is it gets very hard if there's multiple animatronics at once, which I did get. I got Chica and Freddy, which, if you can imagine, didn't end well. But this whole idea of being in the bedroom really was creepy. Like, FNAF 4 creeped me out all the time, and it still does. So, of course, this game was going to creep me out as well. I was also just messing around with mechanics, sort of trying to learn the controls in a way. Here I just learned how to go to sleep. And here you can see I am staring at the window just to check for Freddy. This game is overall pretty hard once it gets to later on. It starts out really tame and gets really hard. Because, well, it's a FNAF game. That's usually how they go. And yeah, Freddy was, again, pretty much the most active. Freddy was the most active when it came to later on. He attacked probably 3 times the entire night. Chica attacked once. Bonnie never did a full attack. So Freddy was the most active, but Foxy never did anything. I'm not sure if that's because he's active later on and I just never got to see him. But anyway, this game was so cool. And yeah, I'd recommend you guys all check out every single one of the games I've played. Because all of them were such a fun experience. Of course, I'm turning off the light here. But yeah, FNAF Bears 3 especially, and FNAF Bears 3, Joy of Creation, and Watch Your Nightmares are my top 3 out of all of these. Because it's just so fun. And as you can see, we have Freddy right there at the window. Anyway, this probably wraps it up, because as you can see, you get Chica, and when we get Chica, it terrified me. She's just staring in the darkness. I didn't want to move. After a while, she did go away, so I stood back up. Then Freddy. I literally had no more games left, meaning that was it. It's over. There is no more games I've downloaded. So that was it. Thank you for watching. And yeah, I do have a skill issue, but see you guys in the next video.